Hey guys, I want to talk about the kind of the bigger picture of what we've been doing on the marketing side of the house because this is a big deal. Sent a bunch of mailings and improved the way that's done over stacks. And so I've got to the point where AI is answering messages pretty well on its own, but I stopped working with training it about a week ago because we did all the front end stuff. So, Rocky Your Biz AI, all the updates that I've been showing you over the last few videos, all this stuff, the the calculators, the video testimonials, setting up the referrer portal, making it work in all these different languages, setting it up so that people can buy from different countries in and even pay in their own currencies, all this kind of thing, and making it work for everybody to be able to use in a smart way with the ability to make such an incredible ROAS compared to about any other thing you would do because it's so hyper personalized with very little effort. So I came back here and just to show you, this is 3,000 mails basically that went out that researched the companies, decided who to send to, and sent them messages tailored to them without me doing anything. And then when the guys replied, it replied to them without me doing anything. So for instance, hey Brian, this is some guy, right? New England's commercial cleaning market feels increasingly crowded with everyone now pushing green tech and disinfecting. We help local teams capture more inbound calls by saturating search intent across your entire service area. Right? That's MSE. The market saturation engine. Should I send over a quick breakdown of how we expand your visibility? If not, no worries. Best, and that's one of the names we use for all these different emails we're emailing out through, which is the different domains on our server. Okay? So the guy replies, good afternoon. Happy to set up a call. Please let me know what works for you. Now, he replied 5 days later. Okay, like we sent it to him on the 9th. He replied on the 14th, so it's just when people have time. So look at this. Hello, great. I'd be happy to connect for a call. Best way to move forward is to visit our website. It has a quick overview of our solutions and options for you to call in for a discussion or demo at your convenience. Here's the link. Looking forward to speaking with you. And then this is somebody else, which is just something we can choose to do. That's up to us. If we want to make the team look bigger, especially because the guy responded late. Now, here's the point I want to make about that, which is really, really huge. This is happening 100% on its own, leading the guy to a website that finally is set up so well. And by the way, this thing's waiting for me to edit the reply, open the guidance, or send, because we've done so much on the website that's changed it, and it's choosing a different name and not quite sure what we should be doing yet. Okay, so I've got to go into guidance anyway and update it a bit because the website is so much more clear, so much more obvious, with so much more streamlined. And our process of reaching out and interesting people is so different this is time for an upgrade. Now, having said that, this all is getting written on its own. Okay, I went back and checked 3,000 emails that went out over the past week, just teasers, really, and learning how people react and how we react to people. 28 responses, 28 different people, okay, received 3 days ago, 5 days ago, whatever it is, down to, 9 days ago now, because it's just the time limit on the system. But that's it, man. It's 28 people responded over those days, okay, right to today, April 15th, okay? Now, April 15th, April 15th, April 14th. Now, think about it. These are guys who are showing interest, right? What was our first message doing? Nothing. It's a little text message that said very, very little. Just enough to try to catch our attention. 1 in 1,000 guys replied. Now, how expensive was that to get a reply then? 1,000 mails went out, cost about 11 cents a mail. Not for the mail, but for finding leads, enriching the details on the leads to really know what to say to them. Your carpet cleaning market feels increasingly crowded with everyone now pushing green tech and disinfecting. In order for us to know to say that, means we did research. That was part of the cost. But that research is done by AI, so the cost is low. It allowed us to be able to send like 100 messages per reply, a 1% reply rate on this old style of reaching out. We have better ones now that we've got the site up to where it is. So anyway, if we got a 1% reply rate, it means $11 per lead. I could react to this guy, right? I could hop on and do a demo with him, and I could sell him on 1, 2, or 3 different things. I could sell him probably a dedicated employee team and either a market saturation if he can handle it, or at least on the AIE, a set of websites. He doesn't have to go as far as exclusivity, but he can buy a set of websites, right? And the point there, and by the way, we do kind of separate that. He would have to limit that. He'd really be making a choice if he's going to go that far, because the exclusivity is for those home-based industries that we have in the list. AIE is for everything that's not in the list, for MSE. Okay, AIE, if guys start buying in particular areas, we don't want them impeding with the MSE exclusivity offers. Okay. Having said that, even getting him on a dedicated employee call or a team means he can save a lot of money now moving forward while doing more work and causing less stress on his people in the admin areas of his business, which is cool, right? So he'll get benefits right away, even if he doesn't get sales. What do I want to say? $11 for a prospect who arrives saying, tell me more. I want to connect, right? And then us being able to drip on this guy. I can try to lead him to the website. I can give him a call. I can do that in either order. I can make some extra points. I can remind him of something, send him a demo. I can talk to the guy, and if he's showing any hesitation, I can send him a demo, right? Let him sell himself. I can send him some other stuff you might want to get into, like those videos. You can always sell those little video bits that you make for companies. Sell 5, 10, 20 of them to a company to animate all their images, at, I don't know, $10 an image, $20 an image, whatever it is that the market will bear, whatever it is that they think is a good price. And depending on how many they want to buy from you, So you can do that stuff all day long, and it's really cheap, and you can just do it inside the system in the referrer portal. Here's the point. When you're thinking about how cheap it is here, I could answer the guy myself, but now that I've got the site up as far as it is, I'm going to go back into the guidance here because I want to retrain this thing to understand even better how to reply up front so that I do less work in the back end fielding. My goal is to have this run itself 100% AI. I did go through these. I went through all these. Some guys are more interested than other guys. But this thing has been replying to a bunch of them. And then if they don't respond back, it tries again like 3 days later, tries again like 3 days later. I went through all the combinations. Some guys said no thanks. Some guys said maybe. Some guys said I need to see a demo. And it didn't answer about a demo because I didn't have that all set up yet on the site, but now I do. So I'm going to get a better rate than 1 in 100. I'm probably going to get 3 or 4 in 100. And get them 2 demos, get them 2 actions that are going to make them want to lock and load. By the way, what's even a quicker, easier, better way to go now? Throw something at them that they all want, right? This book is all about David Bennett. When I was saying I can make you read a book that's 300 pages, it's all about you. And now you're going to read it. But what do you say to all these guys? Want a video testimonial? Can I give you a video testimonial? Would you like a video testimonial? Would you like a video teaser? Can I send you a video teaser? Do you want a video teaser? Right? We have all these emails we can hit people from all these different names that totally look like they're different offers from different companies. So we can methodically work people through a process. Okay? If they don't respond to the first thing, 3 days later, send something else. If they don't respond to that, 3 days later, send something else. See what we hit them on, right? Smart things. Just tag each person lightly, text messages until they reply, 3 tries, and then stop. That kind of thing. Very simple rules, but we have thousands of leads here to do this with now. And we have the whole world at our disposal. We can actually sort leads in most countries around the world with this entire process in play. Okay. Now, the biggest thing I want to say about that is this. We are like 95% of the way to tying this to the point where we can remove ourselves as humans. We can just put more messages in, refine them, improve upon them, test them, run them through the guys, let a greater percentage of guys reply, let a greater percentage of guys get excited and either buy or get a demo first and then buy, right? Some guys will want to buy before they ever get a demo. They saw the point. They went to the website, they called the discussing demos, talked to the demo on the site. We can just send them to the demo on the site. You can send them to the demo on the site from the referral portal, send them to the right page of the website that talks about the thing you're pitching them, and tell them to call that phone number and talk to the demo. That's on the site. If you come here and you're talking about supercharging your team and people are like, what can you do for my team? See this discuss and demos button? It's got a phone number. Tell the people to call the phone number in your reply to them. But first say, I'm going to set you up in the system. So when you call, if you decide to engage, use this information to get in. Okay? And then get a hold of me and I'll give you this gift. Whatever, the video script or, a couple of videos or something you're going to give them for signing up through you, effectively. For just using the information that you send them. Most people won't even question it. They'll just use that information. Okay? Sooner or later, I'll figure out how to give some kind of a, like discount if they come through your number. But don't worry about that right now because most people are going to take whatever little bonus you're going to give them or your advice or whatever trainer or whatever thing you're going to send them if they sign up, which you can even create with AI or just from knowing what's going on back here. Having said all that, there's so much that I want to explain about what we're doing with you guys who are position owners. Okay? So the first thing I wanted to do was get you to understand that on the one hand, we have the referral portal and you guys can prospect away if you want to sign up and you can do it stupid cheap but really draw attention. The ROAS on that way exceeds everything. And then on this side, we have this thing, which is almost tying itself completely down automatically. And the point of that, very simply, is so that we don't have to do this one person at a time. We can just swamp this thing and the commissions will start pouring in if you think about the value of going across lots of industries, across lots of metro areas all at the same time with automated messages, responses, interactions, and getting people to site. We are making all of this AI-driven, 100% AI-driven process. Remove ourselves all the way back to the support tickets, just in case people are having real trouble with the system, okay? But we're doing it because I could go answering these guys one at a time. That doesn't do you guys much good. I'll get exhausted very quickly. If I talk to each guy for 20 minutes and I have 3 hours a day I can do that, I can only talk to 6 guys a day. If half of them sign up or 4 of them sign up and they start kind of small and then they grow, great. But then it's hard for me to follow up with 8, 12, 16, 20, 50, 100 of these guys to see how they're coming when we can have AI doing all of this on the right schedule, in the right way, completely mindful of what everyone's doing with the system because it looks in their database, sees where they're at, and then it talks to them about where they're at, where it could go next, what they might be missing out on, etc. Whether they thought about doing this. I mean, simple little thing that we built a process once where you would normally need to role play with it over and over again to see when it runs off the rails. Well, what if a company builds that? What a bit of advice we'll give them is they don't have to role play with it. They can ask it to run 50 stress tests on it all by itself. It'll go silent for a minute, seconds really, 10, and then come back and say, okay, it did all the 50 role plays, that stress test from totally different angles, and it found a couple of things to tweak and improve. And you'll say, all right, I authorize those improvements. What are they? Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. Not that one. Okay, yes to the first two, drop the third because that doesn't apply. Whatever. And so you're just training it by simply talking to it or texting it if you want. And what happens now, or just uploading some new knowledge-based info about your company to fill in some gaps. And all of a sudden, it's all the smarter. All of your websites are all the smarter. Your dedicated employee teams are smarter. Everything. You're training all your team in one day, not 3 or 6 months or 9 months. Crazy, huh? So by getting all this stuff to automation, which is right around the corner, we are so close now. I mean, I haven't even touched this in a week. So everything you see happening here, which is successful, I mean, I'm making money at this level, right? By contacting these guys and locking them in, especially if I were to do it quickly enough. But no, I want AI to do it, right? It's not good enough if I have to do it manually. AI needs to do it. But this is the first time I'm coming back after a week to update all the guidance. I can add more points. I can change the rules of the game. I can bend everything and have it understand better how to react to situations and how to get back to people and what new pitches it can give that we didn't think about until 2 days ago that are even better, like the whole bit about the video teasers and stuff like that. And I can send the same video teaser to a bunch of the guys in the same industry, I can create a different video teaser for each industry and have the system know which one to send to which guy depending on their industry. Isn't that insane? So it'll give the link in the email, for instance, to the video teaser and then tell them to go to the webpage to learn more. So much we can do to lock people in. Or go to the webpage to sign up for a free demo using this information. I mean, there's so much that we can do. So very, very soon, this entire system will operate by itself and lock in sales automatically. And that brings me back to the refers, because so far you're doing it one at a time in your back end, and you're learning how when we're doing this in the front end and automating it fully. And then there's position owners who've been waiting to make 6 times back on their money for a long time now, while we've been going through the craziness of AI just morphing constantly and hauling us with it, and not knowing how to get to the end until now, where finally we have totally 100% AI-driven businesses that can operate on their own. Even to the point where the marketing is 95% of the way there. Used to be that if the clients came in, we had to stop the marketing because we'd be so busy making their websites. Now the websites make themselves perfectly and great and in the queue and really high page speed and all that jazz. Everything accounted for, nothing spammy, everything right. In their language, in their location, speaking as though it was native. If a website comes in from Mumbai, it can create their address.in and it can talk to them in Indian, whatever, Hindi, and it can do it as though it's speaking from having lived in Mumbai, many years, and knowing how to speak the way they think over there. And about that place, if that's the idea. Okay? And on the other hand, it can do the whole thing in French for somebody in Paris. All right? And speak as though it's been living in Paris for years and knows the entire scene out there. And the business competition realm and everything else that applies to the job. Insane. Let alone doing it all through the metro areas here for all these major industries here. So, yeah, everything is different now, and we can control this by letting it run and just observing it from the back end, making little tweaks and letting it do everything. So what I want to do now, and this is the first time I've ever heard of such a thing, I want to be able to tie affiliates, in other words, the refers, into a system that takes care of their needs without them needing to do anything, not because of a simple plug-and-play system, but because we can run at insane scale now. We've got a bunch of domains in here. This could be multiplied 20 times, 50 times, 100 times over. We could go from sending 3,000 emails a month to sending 50,000 emails a day. No kidding. Okay? No kidding. And that's why we need so much room. And we can handle everyone. We can handle all the demos. We can handle all the discussions. We can handle all the jobs that come in because AI is doing it all. So how do I tie you guys into that who've been with us forever and who bear with my ultra long flipping videos that take up hours of your day when you get to them? And how can I finally benefit the position owners to the degree they deserve for helping us get this far in the first place in a way that even we couldn't have thought of before? And I'm going to break all that down in the next video because we're at the point where all this is really about to happen. I haven't been getting enough sleep. Even when I sleep, I toss and turn and dream about what we've been doing. And I forget to eat. Again, for the first time in a long time, I've been losing a lot of weight. For those of you who haven't noticed, I'm sure you've noticed if you've been around a while. And absolutely fascinated with what we can do, where we're going, and the fact that we can just run it from the back end to constantly make it better, but not waste any time on manual effort on the front end for job after job or marketing. All of this can run itself, and the ROAS is higher than anything I've ever seen ever. I mean, if you're spending $11 to land one prospect, say you land 4 for $44, and say for every 4 you land, you get a guy who buys in, and he buys in at an average of like 4 or 5 dedicated employee teams, because after the first month they'll want to upgrade right away, and guys who want to buy at least like 5 websites if it's the entrepreneurial side of the house, or like 20 websites if it's the market saturation and they're locking down their territory in their industry so that no one else can get it because it'll be grayed out. That combination of industry and location will get grayed out when somebody else gets it. When someone gets it, sorry, this position's taken. Get another position. Or go do something else in the AIE section that's useful. Or get a dedicated employee team. We'll go through all this stuff with the AI to be marketing smartly and directly to each guy without repeating itself. No, there is no spin tax. This is having true conversations with each company based on having researched them. It's unbelievably cool. And we can speak to them on their turf all the time. So how am I going to tie it all in for all you guys? That is the next video. And I don't know how many guys are out there doing this kind of thing, but this is probably the next big thing. So anytime you can see this stuff kicking up, this is something you want, because we can set it up in such a way that you don't have to do any work. And yet all the pieces that should be done, normally you have to cut the corners if you're going to automate, like sending the same email with spin tax variables. No cutting corners anymore. Everything is meant directly to speak to the needs of each guy who comes aboard. That locks and loads people so fast. So if it takes 4 guys to get a sign up and they get 4 DETs even, that's $400 a month. $44 spent lands $400 a month, where the profit is about 1/5 of that. So what is that? 20 bucks profit a month to each of us, but $20 times like 7.5 months that they stick around. And that's if they only got 1, but they're not gonna average 1. 1 is the minimum you can buy. Most guys are gonna get like 5, right? Average could be even higher. It depends. Most companies have more people who are key employees in the office. They have like 8 to 12. So if you said 10, that'd be $1,000 a month. It would be $200 that you'd be getting as profit. So if it costs you $44 to get $200 times 3 months, 7.5 months, or a year, the ROAS is insane, right? And then what about the guys getting the websites? They're going to keep adding to them. They're going to keep growing. What about the guys who get the one who decide to get the other also, the crossover, overlap? Then your ROAS just keeps improving, especially because there's no caps anymore. We decided that when these guys come in through efforts that are assigned to you, if not your efforts, then you're going to earn from them, period. All right. You're going to love this next bit, I think. So take a break, take a walk. I'm going to set that up and then get back to you. And that's the last video in this series. And it's amazing. I cannot believe we're here.